have a feeling that this energy painting is going to be a little bit more abstract than usual, or at least more abstract than the last painting that I did, which, in my opinion, the way I view it, kind of really made sense. I'm feeling being all over the place. So, short intro. I'm not gonna forget it this time. Welcome to my multidimensional living room. I'll be painting energies, and those that speak to you, if they help you, are gonna... Why do I make such mistakes all the time? That's interesting. Alright, so if energies that I paint here, if they help you orient yourself, navigate your life, understand yourself and love yourself and those around you a little bit better, then that's great. And if they don't, then they're for or from somebody else. Use your intuition. Listen not just with your ears, and watch not only with your eyes, but listen to your body. Use your discernment at any given moment in time. I assume not everything that I say is compatible with you, but if it is, well then I'm happy if it fits. I'm happy if it makes you happy. And I don't... Did I say it? I did. I think I did. But I have a feeling this is going to be a little bit more abstract than usual, because I already feel like I'm all over the place. I've been experiencing delays. Not like me, like Dolores, but I sense delays. And I was getting a feeling of being outside of the body, but in a relative terms. Sometimes being like maybe half a meter above the body as a spirit. And the way I experience it, the way I feel it as Dolores, I get it to be like a white fog and very clear head. Very meditative kind of state of being, and you can just look down on what's going on around you and within you, and that feeling is kind of being 50% there, where I feel very here, grounded, physical. I'm in the 3D reality, but at the same time I also feel a little bit up. And then when I come in contact with certain individuals that are in my energy field, I get more up or more down. It's really relative. So I sense this changing depending on who is in the energy field. And from that state I'm getting the vision of skin being cut in half and then being stitched together, where one part of the skin is the present moment and the other part of the skin is the past moment, where experiences like this, for example, where you sense yourself being outside of the body, have been happening in the past at a time when maybe you were not in the environment where such experiences are supported or understood or welcomed or acknowledged. I'm getting something like experiencing... Now I, as Dolores, can give an example of that. Experiencing visions at multiple points in your lifetime and then speaking about them as if they're a normal occurrence and as if everybody else have visions in their head. And then being in this life chapter where whenever you say a vision to somebody else around you, they're like, oh wow, that's crazy. Have you thought about going to therapy? Or, oh wow, like, weird. Or something along those lines where it's not really the best accepted, it's not really understood, it's not really comprehended, and it kind of bursts a bubble of everybody else have what you have in your head. I've experienced that first and foremost with synesthesia. I thought that everybody else had synesthesia, but they didn't, which is sad. I think that's more sad than not having visions. And those experiences are now being recognized in the past and brought back into the present moment, where they're a little bit more accepted and more understood, and they make more sense, or at least you're in the environment where you're not going to be judged, you're not going to be called crazy, you're not going to be called weird. At least not in my living room. I'm also at the same time sensing that same shift of living in a world where such things were, not even such things, but living in a world where you're kind of living in a conceptual, mind-fabricated reality of things that you think are important. Cliche language used being here, you know, chasing money, chasing status. Chasing status? Chasing achievements, chasing approval, chasing appearance. No, chasing perception, living for the perception. When those things mattered, then your body was sacrificed. Your feelings were sacrificed, your nervous system was sacrificed, and then there was a switch where you learn to listen to your body, your intuition, your energy, and you move into the energy world where things make a little bit more sense on an organic level, on a cellular level, on a molecular level, on a feeling level, on the intuitive level, and suddenly you get like a life, like confirmation, but it's kind of like it applies onto your whole life experience, like your whole life is being approved. You finally come to the point where you can relax, because it proves to you that you're not crazy, because it proves to you that you're safe, because it proves to you that there are other people who are operating in the same way that you're operating. There are other people who have visions, and there are other people who have synesthesia. And now there is this, I sense a thermometer in your body that I sense that somebody was living for quite some time in this cocoon of the energy world, where you kind of thought that this is it, this is where you're supposed to ascend, this is where you're supposed to live. And you've been here for a while, and this is not your home, this is where you're fluent. And for some reason, that bubble broke, and you come in contact with people who are totally not living the energy world. They still live that old version of reality that you used to live, and they hold you, they expect you to conform to their idea of how a world is or how a world should be. And it can be even as simple as, like, might not have to do anything with anybody else, but it might be that internally this energy comes back in a way of expecting you to work harder, despite your body saying no. It's like your mind is telling you, look, this event is coming up, or this date is coming up, or this opportunity is coming up. You need to double down, work 3 times as hard, and over-deliver to make sure that you have it all covered. And that would normally work for you, but your body learned to respect itself. You learn to respect your body. You learn to respect your energy and move as it moves. So if you feel inspired, if your heart, if your gut feeling, if your energy really wants you to move in a certain direction, then you're going to do it. But if it comes from your mind, which comes from the space of fear, is that a fear? it's like either fear or chasing something, approval or achievement or productivity or perception. And I'm looking at why do some people don't like saying that you're being tested in this moment, because it can really perfectly explain why is this even happening to you. Because I would say with one set of words, you're being tested to check with yourself, like, do you still want to listen to your body, or are there any circumstances that can provoke you out of being in a close contact with your body? But it also may not be a test. Part of this water is leaves of my plants that I adopted a few years ago. They used to live in a computer store. It was a privately owned computer store and doesn't exist anymore. And the owner was giving away the plants that lived in a window of the shop. And now they're here, the two of them, and they don't like it here, in this position where they are. I need to move them. But sometimes plants are dying when parts of us are dying, so I've experienced that so many times. You can also pay attention for yourself if you adopt or plant a plant. If you plant a plant, if you grow a plant, if you put a seed in the soil in a particular life chapter, it will die when this part of your life is done and over. I had to write down everything that was, because at one point it all just came down streaming and I had to write it down, and as I was writing, my handwriting completely changed. I don't even know the name of that font that I was using, or like handwriting, not font. But I don't write this way usually. The kindness that you bring into the spaces of people who operate in a way that they automatically shut it down by default. They don't mean to, they just are accustomed to. That kindness lingers with them after you leave. So you enter a space, you bring a big smile, your eyes are glowing and your heart is open, and they don't even say hello. They just automatically correct you into how you were supposed to talk differently. Your kindness, your warmth is then, it lingers with them, and then it blends in with music that they're listening, or the food that they're tasting, or the fabric that they're touching, or even if none of that, then in the moment when they lie down in bed and go to sleep, that moment of being happy to be in bed at the end of the day when you're super tired and then sick and tired of world and existing in the first place, it meets them there. Some things are working out better than you expected. I feel like I'm wearing a silver dress right now. Yeah. I sensed a heaviness of some sort from being overly sensitive and that not really fitting into the world as it should. Now as I said it, I feel relief. I get some sort of a silver sound. It's like this, like little bells. Oh yeah, I think those are the cat necklace bells, and like many of them. Silver, I get a lot of silver. I'm wearing a silver dress and I'm getting those silver bells. I don't think I have a silver paint. From that space of being above my head, I'm seeing how like a lot of things are just not necessary. Like a lot of anxiety is kind of stealing time. It goes over a prolonged period of time. It takes a lot of space, but it's actually not there. It's not that it's not there, it doesn't need to be there. It can be realized in a moment and stopped, but it is not realized and therefore it is in a prolonged period of time. there is a reintroduction into something that has already been discovered, and each time when you discover it, it's new every single time. Something that, you know, you discovered it 5 years ago and it was revolutionary, and then you discovered it 3 years ago and it was revolutionary again, and then it was discovered by somebody else and they presented it in a way that it just, wow, life-changing. You're like, yeah, I know it. And then it happens again and again, and now you're in that space again where you're like, yeah, I discovered it again and again. It's not like you discovered it again and again. There is something that you discovered it like, oh my god, like this is what it is. You caught it. It's in one tarot deck. There is this figure. I think it was, yeah, the Emperor is standing on a fish. No, the Emperor is standing on the Devil, and the Justice is grabbing a fish with its leg. It's Deviant Moon Terror. That's kind of the energy of like, you caught something, you realized something, and it's nothing really new. Like, you realized that last year and the year before and 5 years ago, but each time you realize it again and again, it's new. It comes almost like a celebration, but it's not like a celebration like, oh my god, look at what I discovered. It's more like a silent inner knowing and inner realization of something that you don't necessarily want to, you don't necessarily have to. It's not a classical let's throw a party, but it moves you into making a different choice. Something is tight. Being in a room, being in a room where once upon a time, like ages ago, when I once wrote a poem, it wasn't even a poem, it was a song. And that song was taking place in that room where I thought that some time in my life I'm going to find myself in that room. I don't think I've ever been there. And I'm here now. Not this room, there's another room. It has a balcony, it has a bed, it has an old TV. No one has that anymore. Or does anybody? Like an old school 3-dimensional one. I'm there because there is the tightness, and the tightness is the feeling of living alone in the space that you chose for yourself. It's romanticized, it's comfortable, it has that appeal of living alone that is very much romanticized by many. But it also feels tight. Why does it feel tight? I'm feeling like I'm looking at something that is so obvious that I shouldn't be saying it, because it's so obvious. It's tight because it's one out of many places where life can be. There are so many other places where your life can be experienced. It doesn't necessarily need to be in that one single room. That's why it feels tight. Why do I feel so much silver here? Because of our cosmic nature. I'll take a photo of this later. Reminds me of something that I heard earlier today, and that is that our words are becoming higher. The way we express ourselves as humans, the frequency of our words is getting higher. The awareness of our frequency of the words is getting higher, and we are speaking the correct words, not comparing, but according to where we are and where we're going. That awareness of words creating our reality is becoming more and more accepted, but there will be a time when all the words that we speak are going to be so high that they won't be needed anymore. Dolores, I feel like I'm born too early. I think I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you for being here. Ciao.